Hey, girlfriend. Happy Friday. I'm gonna wait and see who's gonna come on. Today's structure is very informal. So usually we do have a main topic, something we're discussing. Today we don't, just because I really wanted to make this about you. So I see in the chat, M. Lao says not able to join live, will review replay. That's a-okay. That's a-okay. Thank you for letting me know. That's so sweet. Hey, Carl, what's up? That's so nice. There's, I think, two of us in the chat. I do have some questions that came in beforehand. So we are definitely going to talk about those and see who might have the same issue or, who might be, interested in a similar response or answer or any of those things. If you're tuning in, definitely let me know. Definitely let me know where you're from. Hey, Dune from the UK. Wow, that's huge. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Who else is in the chat? Who else is here? I want to maybe clear some light housekeeping. So we do go live every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is how I kick off the weekend. If you're interested in Find Natural Hair Rocks or you just want to come hang, definitely come through and kick off the weekend with me as well. Another thing that I should mention is there's quite a lot of PR that came in recently. So we've got PR from Revere. They have some new products. We also have a lot of PR from Shea Moisture. As well as this Canadian brand called Lust Brands or Lust Hair Care. There's a bunch of PR from Maui Moisture. So there's a lot of products back there that like I've been meaning to like look into and navigate and stuff like that. But I only have one head of hair. But I will do it for the people. If you're interested in knowing exactly how those products perform on fine natural hair, because there's so many products available. Thank goodness the world has changed in the sense that we now have a lot of options as it relates to caring for our fine natural strands or our natural strands, not necessarily fine natural, but definitely natural strands. We've got a lot of options. So it's just left to see whether or not those options are going to work very well for fine strands and not just natural strands in general. Pow pow. Hey there, my people. What's up? Thank you so much for coming through. Girlfriend, as you navigate Find Natural Hair Rocks, if you do see or hear anything that you find to be useful, definitely feel free to, show the love, show some love, maybe give a super thanks, a super chat. Any of those kinds of things are highly welcomed, especially as we continue to formulate and launch this new Find Natural Hair Rocks hair care line. Update on that, I still haven't landed on a name, although fine is sounding pretty good. But I haven't landed on a name yet, and I'm probably not going to be too public about that until it drops, just for legal purposes. When you are formulating something new, you don't necessarily want to be saying every single piece of the puzzle, especially before you've actually cleared the legal foundation first. So there's that. Virginia Hinch, hey from Nova Scotia. Wow, hey, okay. Big ups to Canada, Nova Scotia. I love that. That is so cool. I don't know if you know Virginia, but I'm in Toronto. I'm in Ontario. So I'm also in Canada. Sophia Reinbergs. Hi, darling Lavinia. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Thank you for coming. Pow pow. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. What about you, lady? I'm really well. It's been a very busy week, extremely crazy week. I got some professional development training. I provided some professional development training as well. It's just been a lot. And I'm just happy it's the long weekend. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. I know America, you've got your Thanksgiving weekend a little bit further down, probably closer to November or in November. But for us, it's a long weekend. So I'm really, really excited about that. Sophia, I'm from Ontario, Canada. Yes. What's up? I love that. I love the Canadian love up in here because typically speaking, Find Natural Hair Rocks is usually attracting an audience that's very American in nature. Woo my love. Let's not get it twisted. I love my Americans. But it's pretty cool when I start seeing some Canadians up in the group as well. So that is super nice. Pow pow from Italy. No way. Okay. Thank you. What's going on in Italy? That is really, really cool. Very, very cool. Pow pow, that's great. Financial Hair Rocks. Thank you. Virginia says, I knew that. Wonderful. Bernice plays, hey from the UK. Look at us worldwide up in here. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Girlfriend, one of the things that I've really been trying to do the most is engage with everybody. So like as it relates to your fine natural hair care. So when I started growing out my fine natural strands, I was really struggling with it, right? I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to grow it, wash it. I really didn't even know what the difference was between a moisturizer and a leave-in conditioner. Like, that's how bad it was, right? And so I know that there's someone who's still there, even though the natural hair community has exploded. We're still kind of there as it relates to fine natural hair care, right? And so that's the reason why I always try my best to answer every single message. But sometimes our messages, it requires a little bit more. It's not just a one off conversation and then that's it. It's like a one off conversation and hopefully a back and forth. So, what I decided to do was I did launch a hair consult program. If you did want more time with me to talk about your hair concerns, to talk about, where you want to go next, to really get over some of the humps that you might be experiencing, then you can definitely take advantage of the hair consults, which I'll go ahead and I'll leave the link in the comment section over here. But essentially, it's just an opportunity to provide, ask your questions about growing your hair, styling your hair, maintaining your hair, best products for your particular hair type, taking into consideration your curl pattern, your texture, the things you're doing now, your regimen, like where you could, tweak it. We'll get a whole 30 minutes, not hours, 30 minutes together. And we can definitely put that together. So there's an option for fine natural hair consults. There's also an option for fine hair consultations itself. There's a difference. Fine natural hair refers to highly textured fine strands. If you've got, more smooth, not smoother, but more less textured, I should say, less textured, or yeah, smoother curl, closer to type 1 hair, but it is fine in nature, then we can do that as well too. And you can definitely go in, book it. Once you pay for that consultation, so there is a fee, the fee is $97. Once you pay for that, you will be able to then get a Zoom link, all it's going to be connected, and then we can link up. So that's available for anyone who wants that. I will still continue to answer questions as far as I can, but it will really only be the way we've been doing it thus far. So your question comes in or your comment, we engage, which I love so much. But what's happening is I'm losing the rest of the conversation because there's just so much happening on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. So if you ever do want to continue that conversation, then there's the hair consult service that's available to you. Pow Pow, yeah. Do you remember me during your last live stream? I told you I love Afro hairstyle so much. It's my favorite hair texture, even if I don't have Afro hair. Yes, I do remember you, Pow Pow. I definitely remember you. And thank you so much for returning to Fine Natural Hair Rocks. That's very sweet. And I'm very happy that, we're connecting on a weekly basis. Hey, Mary, what's up? Love yourself. What's up? Hi, Coily Code. Hey, girlfriends. Yes. So today is an opportunity to ask your questions. Just like the hair consult, you can go ahead, you can ask your questions. There's no fee because this is done live and we're going to engage as much as we possibly can. But again, like if you want more one-on-one in a confidential private space, then there definitely that link is available to you and it's available right on the Fine Natural Hair Rocks website. So on one of our previous videos, a question did come in and it would be nice to, this was from V2B 2010, and the question says, it would be nice to know what alternatives others do for their nape if it grows further down their neck aside from shaving it. So recently in the poll, I did put in a question, or a poll rather, about asking you whether or not you shave the nape of your neck. That's not something that I personally do, but it is something that I know quite a few people, even here on YouTube, they do this quite regularly. And so I think an alternative to that is maybe, maybe not shaving it, but maybe using Nair. Maybe if you're not using Nair, then maybe using like waxing could be an option as well too. But I don't actually know because I don't actually do that. So I want to put that out to our girlfriend crew. Are you actually one of the people who said yes, you shave the nape of your hair? So that's just back here for like a more smoother look. Is that you? If that's you, please feel free to share, what that experience has been for you, what it's been like for you, while I hop back into the comments. So Nadoom, hello everyone. Hi Nadoom. Welcome, welcome. Coily Code. What's the best way to remove product buildup without incurring unnecessary breakage? Fantastic question. So there are clarifying shampoos. There's so many different types of shampoos that you can use on your fine natural strands. You can use shampoos that will get rid of dandruff. You can use shampoos that will be moisturizing in nature and cleanse the scalp, but also moisturize. Then there's of course co-washes, which take it a step further and also do the conditioning piece, the moisturizing bit, while also lifting hair off the strands. In terms of moisturizing through a shampoo, a moisturizing shampoo is going to be a little less of a buildup type feature than say a co-wash, because ultimately speaking, it's still a conditioner. It's not a full-on cleanser. Now, removing product buildup specifically, you're going to want a clarifying shampoo. So if you get a clarifying shampoo or even a chelating shampoo, that should be able to lift up buildup. Now, a clarifying shampoo is really good at doing that with product buildup, whereas a chelating shampoo is good at lifting the hard water particles that might be on your strands. So if you're from a place that has hard water, Toronto has hard water, New York has hard water. It leaves deposits, like light deposits on the strand that could make penetrating the hair with products really, really difficult. If you've got a buildup of that, there are a couple of ways to remove that. You can buy the chelating shampoo, like I mentioned before, or you could even apply like a water filter at the top of your faucet or wherever you're getting your water from in your shower, the shower head, and that can soften up the water as well. So that's one way. And you shouldn't necessarily be incurring unnecessary breakage. It's not that I would recommend washing your hair more often just because you've got product buildup. You couldn't use this and when I say washing your hair more often, washing your hair with this clarifying shampoo more often, that's not something that you want to be using every single wash day because, like I said, it really is quite stripping. And there are some products that I would recommend. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Amazon shop for Fine Natural Hair Rocks into the chat because I did post some really good clarifying shampoos there that I myself use to this day and that I really absolutely love. That's a really good question though, because as people with fine strands, we definitely do incur a lot of buildup really, really quickly without even knowing it. Girlfriend, if you're finding any of this useful and you're enjoying Fine Natural Hair Rocks and you're here and you're liking it, please go ahead, smash that like button. It does tell YouTube that Fine Natural Hair Rocks is on point, which of course it is. And it also tells the algorithm that we want to send more people this way. Like this is a good place to be for people who have fine strands and are looking for solid like actual advice. In terms of the merch shop, which you'll find down below, I don't know if I linked anything there today, but I am wearing one of our merch tops. So this is our Fine Natural Hair Rocks. This is just a t-shirt, really, really cute if you are into kind of showing off what it is that you love the most in life. If you want to show some support to Fine Natural Hair Rocks, this is one of the main tops. There's different designs, there's different styles, so if this is a little bit too in your face for you, there are definitely more subtle versions of it on the website, which is also available in the description box down below. Ori Idun, what hair porosity do you have? So my hair porosity used to be low porosity. Now it has transitioned over to neutral or not neutral, sorry, medium porosity. So the good thing about that is if you do have low porosity hair and it's transitioned to medium, that's fine. A lot of the hair practices that you would do with low porosity hair, you will continue to do with medium porosity hair as well. And that's exactly what I do. And I've been finding a lot of success with it. Bernice plays definitely length retention tips. So I do have a full video about length retention tips, but I will share with you my favorite one, and that is to simply just leave the hair alone. Honest to goodness, I find the more I just leave my hair alone, I'm not, fighting with it. I'm not styling it in like really intricate hairstyles. I find that that really does make a difference as it relates to like just enjoying more length retention. So I'm trying to look as we're talking here for one of our videos, our more recent videos on length retention tips, because there are certain things that I have stopped doing to my fine natural strands so that I can continue to see growth and so that I can continue to enjoy length retention. So I do have a video that has 14 of my best tips for length retention. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop that in the chat right now because I think that that's really going to help. And I'll just put here 14 tips for, oops, length retention. I've got really find a moderator for our lives now that we're doing this more regularly. Because it can be a little difficult to chat and write at the same time, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Hey Tasha from Jersey, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming to the chat. Uh, or Adun, what's the difference between a moisturizer and a leave-in? Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, a leave-in conditioner is really going to continue conditioning your strands from the inside on out. So, when you're conditioning your hair, you're really looking for something that's going to ease the slippage. It's going to be nice and hydrated from within. A moisturizer is absolutely going to do the same thing, but it's not going to last on the strands as long. So I find moisturizers, depending on whether it's really watery, whether it's more creamier. I find that they're usually more like water based, and you probably want to be using a moisturizer every single day. Whereas a leave-in conditioner is heavier, right? You can get away with putting a leave-in conditioner on your strands today and maybe re-upping on it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. Moisturizers tend to be a bit lighter, so I find that any of the spritzes are a moisturizer, curl juices are a moisturizer. It really is meant to just impart a lot of moisture right away, but it doesn't necessarily stay. So oftentimes what I will do and what I will recommend is that you use a spritz. So a moisturizer could even just be regular, good old, like just regular water in a bottle, right? Like that could moisturize as well. Anything with water as the main ingredient. I do recommend oftentimes just going ahead, spritzing the hair, and then maybe applying a leave-in conditioner on top to go ahead and lock things in, especially in the winter months as we get a little bit more closer and closer to the snow and, that fun season. Although I really do like Christmas, I must say that. Quillico, thank you. I may do a chelating shampoo because we have hard water in LA. Yeah, that should make a big difference. Let me know, and I'll definitely, yeah, I'd love to hear like how that's working in LA because I know it works fantastically here in Toronto. So, Latasha, I don't like protective styles. How long do you recommend wearing my hair in a bun style? So for me, I think you can wear a hair like I typically wear my hair in a bun maybe a week and then I'll wash. If you can stretch it to 2 weeks, fantastic. With protective styles, the longer you keep your protective style in, not touching your hair at all, is the more you're really going to see the benefits, right? So I would recommend wearing your hair in a bun style for as long as you can without incurring like matting and like, product buildup and dust and all those kinds of things. Like once you start seeing that, it's falling apart a little bit as it relates to like the dust and the matting and stuff like that, then I would recommend taking it out. So that is kind of like a it depends type answer because for you, it might be that a week is like enough. Like that's enough. I can't go further than a week. Whereas for somebody else, that could be 2 weeks, right? For me, typically I fall within the 1 week to 2 week area. So if we do have similar curls, similar porosity, similar texture, similar strands in the fineness, then maybe that's a good place to start. Like start off with a week being a little bit more conservative, and then maybe become more liberal as you see your strands being able to deal with more. Ori Adun, how do I know if my hair is actually absorbing the products I put in it as a low porosity girly? Yeah, so you know that your hair is really absorbing the products in a couple of different ways. So, like if you put the product on your hair and it just sinks right in, you no longer see the product, there's no white residue, any of those kinds of things, it could be safe to assume that like your hair has really accepted the product really well. Now, your product's not working if you're putting the product on your hair and it's literally just filming and staying on top. If that's what's happening to you, then chances are likely that it's not absorbing, the product is not agreeing with your strands, and you got to try something else. So it's really tricky because I feel like when you look at something like this and you use like just regular common sense on it, it's like, oh, like I can see it, it's working. Whereas it's really the other way around. If you can't see it after you put it on your hair, that is when it's working. Another way to tell that your hair is really absorbing product is if the things that the bottle is saying it's supposed to do is actually doing. So, say the marketing is telling you that it's supposed to be really slippery, like there's great slip, and you actually experience great slip. That's a good example or good sign rather that your hair is actually absorbing this stuff. Or you do, and I didn't realize porosity could change. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, porosity can absolutely change. It can go up, it can go down. I think what might have happened to me was that I started off low porosity and went to medium porosity because I started introducing more heat into my regimen, which opened up the strands a lot more than they were before. So naturally, with no heat, no nothing, I've got really closed cuticles. They stay closed They only open with heat and then they close back. But because I've been using heat, now it's more medium porosity. And then, of course, if you've got high porosity strands, the cuticles lay open all the time, and the issue is keeping them closed. So, yeah, you can definitely change porosities. It's very normal. Our hair is changing all the time, and this is something that can happen at any point, really. Virginia Hinch, I found a home treatment for a keratin treatment with flaxseed and cornstarch. What do you think about home treatments? I think home treatments can be a fantastic choice, especially speaking like economically, as well as just in general with like the efficacy of the products that you're using. So oftentimes there are ingredients out there that are amazing, but they're not necessarily in a product. I think home treatments can be really good to save your money, but also to take advantage of trying different things and seeing what works specifically for you. Because it could be that you could find a blend that is like perfect for you and you can't find it anywhere else unless you do your home treatment. I think that could be really good. As it relates to keratin treatments, keratin is a little tricky. I don't know if I would recommend doing a specific keratin treatment at home because I feel that that could go wrong. Like you really need to know what you're doing with that, especially with like heavier proteins like ApHogee. The hair gets really, really hard, right? And if you don't know how to handle or manage your hair while it's in that state, you can cause a lot of unnecessary, undue, unintended damage. So that being said, if you are new to hair care, I would recommend like protein treatments and keratin treatments to really do those, like leave that to a professional. And then, anything moisturizing in nature or a light protein, like protein deep conditioners, you can do at home. But anything above and beyond, you got to be careful because trust me, you can really impart a lot of damage like that. I hope that answers that question. I feel like I understood it as one way when I started answering it. And then I'm like, wait, I think Virginia's talking about keratin as it relates to protein treatment. So you let me know if that's if I kind of hit it on the nail, what you were asking. But yes, I think that home treatments can be good and economical. You just have to make sure you know what you're doing and how you're doing it. No problem, Bernice. Bernice says, how do you maintain your hair and hairstyle such as box braids? Yeah, so box braids, I lean into that moisturizer. So remember when I was talking about the moisturizer and saying that it's really good to have a moisturizer that you spray on your hair, you hydrate the strands, and you kind of take it from there. That's going to be really amazing for box braids. So when I have box braids, the couple times that I do, I don't consider them a protective stop because sometimes they cause more harm than good for me and my fine strands. But I find just spritzing it with a curl spray, spritzing it with a curl juice. There's so many fantastic products on the market. It's not too heavy. It doesn't lead to a bunch of buildup. And when you take down your hair out of the braids, it's actually quite moisturized in nature, which is fantastic, right? So yeah, I definitely recommend doing that. Also, if you have the strength and the time and the resources to do it, I would recommend, washing your hair as regularly as possible while it's in the braids just to keep the scalp clean. But not everybody has that patience or has the resources to go and get that done at the salon. So I would say don't keep it in for more than a month, max 8 weeks. So 6 to 8 weeks is a good enough time, especially for fine strands. If your hair is super, super fine, then maybe lean into leaving them in for like 6 weeks as opposed to 8 weeks, because I really do see a difference. There's a huge difference. When I keep my strands in, or my hair rather, in from 4 to 6 weeks versus like 6 to 8 weeks, I see a huge difference in what's like retained in terms of length and what falls off because it was just too much time in the braids. Um, hey, Trish the Natural. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Virginia Hinch says, yes. Awesome. Awesome. So, yeah, girlfriend, if you're watching this and you haven't smashed the like button yet, smash that going to help Find Natural Hair Rocks out in terms of getting another, girlfriend who might need this information to really be able to find this information. At this point, we are uploading new videos every single day. Yes, there's new videos every single day. If you haven't been seeing them, it's because they're shorts. They're short videos, and still working on getting back to our regular long form, so longer videos. Those uploads on a weekly basis, but if you are looking for quick tips, you do want to keep on top of your hair care regimen in addition to all the other areas of your life, then checking back at Find Natural Hair Rocks on a daily basis can really help. In the community tab to really engage in those fun posts and the back and forth with the girlfriend crew and myself, or through the shorts that are up every single day. Bernice, what products do you use for heat styling? That is a great question. Thank you. You guys are coming in with the good questions today. The products that I love the most for heat styling, I gotta say it. The tool I love the most is the Rivera. That is my favorite tool. I find that I have less issues when I use my Rivera than when I don't. So my hair is very tightly coily, as you can see. Like, it's super frizzy right now. It's hydrated. It's just super frizzy. So it tends to love up on itself. When it's like this is a example of it really just curling up on itself, and it can cause unnecessary breakage just because it's curling up on itself. So I use my Rivera. If you're interested in the Rivera, girlfriend, you can definitely get 10% off the Rivera by using my code FNH Rocks, or our code rather, and that will give you a full 10% off. But in addition to using the Rivera, I also go ahead and use really good products. So the Rivera, it's designed not to cause heat damage, but being the A-type person I am, I want more protection, as much protection as possible. I do use a heat protectant on my strand. Currently, I'm using the Adwa Beauty, the Blue Tansy line. It's really, really good. For years, I was using the Chi Silk Infusion, and that was a really good one too. I don't think the Adwa Beauty product is in the Fine Nature Hair Rock shop, because that's something that I just started using. But the Chi Silk Infusion is definitely in the Amazon shop if you're interested in taking a look at that, amongst other things. Now, Rivera actually did launch a set of products. They're actually right beside me down here. Two different lines. So one line is, both of them are meant to work in connection with the Rivera, but they're meant to really insert as much hydration into the strands as possible before you go in with your Rivera. So whether you're using the Rivera or another type of heat source, heat will always pull moisture from the strands. So before you go into your heat styling session, you really want to make sure that your strands are starting in the most hydrated state possible, which is the reason why I'm really excited about using the Rivera, because, or not the Rivera, but the Rivera products with the Rivera, because they've both been formulated to work very well together. So stay tuned to that. I'm definitely going to be doing a tutorial here on Fine Nature Hair Rocks, showing you how I use the Rivera products and how I use the Rivera after, and just giving you my final thoughts on if I think it really does make a difference to use the Rivera products with the Rivera, as opposed to just whatever products I have over there with the Rivera, right? Love yourself. For someone who has low porosity hair, is it better to do the LOC or LCO method? I would say, for me, so everyone's hair is different, number one. For me, I did go through a period of trial and error to see which method worked the best. And what I found was that the LCO method worked really well for my low porosity hair. With the LOC method, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, LOC, LCO method is basically, L stands for leave-in or liquid, O stands for oil, and C stands for cream. So I would go ahead and use, I tried out the liquid, cream, and oil first, so the LCO method, and I really love that. It works really well. It also works well with, the LOC method can work. I find the oil just kind of like blocks out the cream that's coming next. That's why I don't really do that process, but I really do like the LCO method, that be liquid, cream, oil. So the liquid would be like a curl spray, the cream would be like a leave-in conditioner, or a styling cream that has leave-in conditioner elements, moisturizing elements, and then the O would be the oil. Hi, Frankie from Atlanta. What's up? I love Atlanta. I visited Atlanta for the first time this year with my hubby. We went to Atlanta for Black History Month, actually, which was really fitting in February. And it was an amazing experience. It was so good. So yeah, I really love Atlanta. Shout outs. Yeah, I think that concludes our questions. If you do have any other questions that are coming on through, by all means, go ahead, leave them in the comment section below that's always available. Also, if you're interested in engaging in a more deeper conversation about strands, developing a hair care regimen for yourself, learning how to listen to your strands and understand your hair so that you can start hitting your goals, then that hair consult information is also available down in the description box. You should be able to click that and see all the information on how to get to the Fine Nature Hair Rocks, that page for bookings. That's pretty much it, girlfriend. Thank you so much for, just being here, engaging with me, chatting. I really do appreciate it. And I really hope that you have a blessed and beautiful weekend. This is the Thanksgiving long weekend for Fine Natural Hair for Fine Natural Hair Rocks. Yes, Fine Natural Hair Rocks, but also for us in Canada. It's our long weekend. Really excited to hop into that. There will be new uploads all weekend long. So don't worry about that. There's no break in scheduled programming. But yeah, I hope you have a blessed and wonderful weekend. And I will catch you next Friday live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.